Hey guys, so I'm making this video at the same time as the Draculina is working on her Elite Alpha Trooper, but I made myself a Deathdealer 2.0 and I never felt quite right about it because this blaster and I have been through so much together that I want to revitalize the original Deathdealer because I just can't bear to leave it behind for this HVZ Invitational. So I'm going to attempt to make the original Deathdealer completely revamped into an Elite Alpha Trooper on the inside, and I'm not even sure if that's possible, but I'm going to give it a shot. So in my project, trying to revitalize my original Deathdealer, I have gone ahead and decided to figure out what the differences in an original Elite Alpha Trooper are. So I went out and bought a stock Elite Alpha Trooper. It feels like it's been forever since I just went to the store and bought a Nerf blaster. So that was kind of fun. And then I'm looking at it and it looks like the primary differences are the end cap here is completely different from an original Alpha Trooper, and there are two pegs, and I'm going to borrow the Draculina shell here, but there are two pegs right here which change the way that the plunger tube sits inside the blaster, so I'm going to rip those out, add them, and I'm going to find some way to graft this onto my original Deathdealer. But past that, everything seems pretty consistent. It's the same shell and the same kind of running sled, and the plunger is a little bit different, but the dart tooth assembly is the same, the clips are the same, the locks are the same, and the trigger mechanism, slam fire mechanism, and catch are mostly the same. The catch catches differently, duh, but the blaster should be really easy to port over from this point, and I'll show you what the internals of the Deathdealer look like once I've done all those things. So, like I've said before, creation is funny and often requires destruction. It's one of life's little ironies. So I've gone ahead and carved off these pieces from my Alpha Trooper, and then I took the Elite Alpha Trooper, I gutted out those rubber stoppers, so I'll be able to put those in pretty soon, and then I carved off the back end of this. Now, the really tricky part is I have no idea how I'm going to get these on securely, and I was thinking about it overnight. I realized that I have two things that I need to do it, one of which is a crucible to mold it on with, and I'm just going to use the stub that I left here, and I'm going to carve this in half and use it to kind of make myself a mold to place these in. And then the second thing is every modder's bane, which is solvent weld, which Hasbro uses to make parts that were separate together. I'm going to use to make these parts that were separate together and kind of melt them into the same piece, because I need it to be really, really secure to act as both a spring rest and the main body of my blaster. So I'm going to get to work on that and see how it turns out. So at this point, I think that my grafting of the shells has gone reasonably well, or as well as I can hope. I laid down a coat of epoxy first using half of the stock attachment piece to kind of crucible it into place, and then I applied clamps, epoxy, and then solvent weld in that order. Then I came in, because it wouldn't be a Deathdealer if it still had its air restrictor. The Elite Alpha Trooper's air restrictors are ridiculous, so the best thing to do is boil your actual barrel, and it'll fall apart into three pieces. There's this piece which goes onto the back, this piece which slides into here, and from there it's really easy to just twist and knock out your entire air restrictor system. So now I have a straight shot through my barrel, and I'm going to solvent weld these pieces back together, which is what the boiling undid, and then I should be ready to start laying the internals into the blaster after I give this a full 24-hour cure time, because I need this piece to be as strong as possible, because this acts as a spring rest in the blaster, so there's a lot of force on that portion, and I need to make sure that this adhesive is fully cured. Alright, so the splicing held. I've waited the entire cure time. The spring rest looks solid, and I've always got an end cap and a stock to help reinforce it, because this will be just a re-edition of the Deathdealer. I went ahead and I sanded all of this. There was epoxy still kinda, and there's a little bit of dust at the top there, but I've sanded it down so that this will fit over it again, hopefully, and I can still lock it down and screw it in. It should be very nice. I'm gonna add in all the rest of my pieces, like my rail attachment and my dart holder, and I'm gonna see if we can't bring my Deathdealer back to life. Alright guys, so this is my Deathdealer 2.0 that I built to replace the 1.0. and it's firing fine. That said, I have revitalized the original Deathdealer with elite internals. It's got a spliced on, I guess taking this off won't matter because it's got the orange end cap, but it has elite internals now. It's been spliced back together. Those internals are orange modwork, springed, reinforced. It's just an awesome blaster, and I'm so glad that my original Deathdealer is alive again. And all in all, I'm just pleased to have my old friend back for this invitational. I know that a lot of people are surprised because I expect to be the only person there with a yellow Alpha Trooper. Sometimes the old school is just kind of the way to go. As always, guys, thanks for watching. This has been how to mod any regular in-strike blaster into an elite blaster as long as they share the same shell. You have to add back in the rubber bumpers for the elite plunger tube into the running rails, and then you have to come in and splice together a new end piece so that you have a better spring rest. But I'm really glad that everything is as it should be. Thanks for watching.